Okay. 3.
So we're starting then?
3, 2...
So we go with the... we doing it?
Hello, and welcome back to the Rolling Stones 2, Overheard a UniSFA podcast. I'm John. I'm here with my good buddy Cam.
Hold on, so did we start?
And also, Lexie.
No, we didn't start. He never said go. He just said 3, 2, 1 and then started talking.
Oh, for fuck's sake. Alright, that's fine. Can I say
welcome
go
back
for
to
him?
another episode. How's everyone's week been?
I've actually only got strong.
How so?
No week involved anymore.
Have you been in the gym a lot this week, Cam?
I work at a gym.
So that's a yes?
I guess.
Nice. I'm glad you're getting your reps.
No, I'm not. I haven't worked out at this gym yet.
I'm glad you're getting your pay checks.
Nice.
Yeah,
no, it's good.
Yeah. Lexie, how's your week been?
Sad. Exams are coming up.
Oh, they
they are. Let's change the subject. Immediately change the subject.
To all of you out there listening, good luck with your exams.
I can't. What have I been doing this week? I've been still a little sick. Can you still hear it in my voice a little?
I'm not sure.
I feel like I haven't fully recovered.
Now you've brought it up, I can. But until you brought it up, no, I could not.
Yeah. I mean, I've had
You're always fully
more
sick
time
to
to
me,
play
bro.
video games. I've been playing Team Fortress 2 this week. That's a throwback.
Oh, man. That's a game that I have repeatedly tried to get into, and I love so many things about it, but I'm not good enough at it to have fun.
It's a game that came out like 15 years ago.
Oh, yeah,
and hasn't been updated in like 4 years, but it's still going strong.
People love their Team Fortress 2.
Yeah.
Lex, have you ever played Team Fortress 2?
No, I'm not really a video games person in general.
What kind of person are you then?
Books.
Yeah, books are pretty
I
good.
could have guessed that.
You should have guessed that. I feel like you know that.
Yeah, I am aware that Lexie, our guest for this episode of the Overheard and UniSFA podcast, episode 11, named to be continued. That's going to be the name to be chosen is a book.
TBC.
It does read books at some points.
I read a book last week.
What book was it?
It's called Vicious. It's about people with superpowers, as are many of the books that I read in a variety of ways.
Yeah,
I didn't take you for a superpower book person.
Well, is magic a superpower? I read many books where people have magic.
I don't feel
That's
like
fair.
magic is. No, magic is.
Sometimes it is.
It depends on the world building.
Yeah.
Does everyone have
Superpowers
magic?
are magic, but they are like a specific. It's like a specific subcategory of like.
I don't know,
magic.
some superpowers aren't magic. Some people can see a little bit more into infrared than everyone else, and it's fucking sick.
True, I guess sometimes like superpowers are sci-fi because it's like, oh, you got bitten by a bug, you got sent into space and now have powers. I
Got
guess
sent
it's
into
more
space, and all I got was explosively decompressed.
I guess it's usually sci-fi except when it's magic.
In this case, it was sci-fi, and they tried to go a bit too far into the science, in my opinion.
Yeah,
Like,
it's always a risk.
Like, they went just a little too far, but it was a good one. I've definitely read somewhere they try and explain teleportation. I'm just like, please stop.
Yeah.
Just tell me that it exists, and I'll trust you with that. Don't
yeah.
make up some garbage.
If you're going to try and explain something, it now has to be good.
Yeah.
If you just don't explain it, you don't have to think about if it's good.
Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, honestly, yeah.
What superpowers do they have in this book? Are they
may I
vicious
just
superpowers?
say, magic is a common superpower in, like, superpower settings. So,
Yeah, that someone can do spells.
Yeah,
And in one
sometimes-
way or
yeah.
another, that is the superpower.
what's your superpower? Oh, I'm a fucking wizard.
Well, fucking
It's
wizard.
the best superpower.
It is,
You
it's
can
great,
do
you're
all
just
the
a
other
wizard.
Superpowers.
Yeah.
I feel like superheroes are kind of just like a subcategory of wizards is what I was trying to get to. Like superhero media is just wizard media, but what if it was modern day and also the wizards were like skin tight costumes?
I heard that a
Okay.
superhero meteor, and I was like, yeah, wizards have meteors, superheroes can have meteors. Where are you going with this?
Isn't Black Panther like completely based on a meteor? Like vibranium fell to the earth, and now I have a cool suit.
No, he's completely cringe on a meteor.
Superman is legally a meteor.
What?
Yeah, he fucking was in a little pod and he crashed into Earth. That's what
Oh,
meteors
Superman.
do.
I thought you said Iron Man, and I'm like, huh?
No,
I
he's
feel like he's done that too.
I feel
He's-
like we're
he's
not listening to each
less
other.
meaty, more irony.
Would you say he's iron ore?
And
Iron and what? Oh, man.
yeah, oh god, yeah, we're gonna have a night.
As someone who's only been on this podcast once, do you cut off the like awkward
Oh, we
laughing
keep
pauses, or do you
all
keep
of it.
all of it?
Yeah,
Nothing gets cut unless it has to be.
I don't think we've had to cut anything except Doug content so far.
Yeah, it has to be cut. I'm sorry, Doug. I can't give in to his demands.
I don't dig it.
He shows up here every week. I can't kick him out of the room.
And he's like
He
not
has-
even a member.
He's not.
Yeah.
He's like not even a member. I can't kick him out. He just says stuff. Like it's not bad enough to kick him out, but like he just really wants to be on the podcast. And he's like, if I just
I feel bad
say
now.
things, huh?
The things he says are bad. But they're not like
Yeah,
awful.
the
it's just
things
like,
you say are bad. Shut the fuck up.
aw,
That's you know what? This is getting cut.
The real
Don't be a sympathizer with him,
you were gonna call me a simp, and I was terrified.
Doug. Don't look at him like that. Oh, fuck.
Doug,
real
don't look
shame
at
is
me.
what-
Full stop.
The real shame is when Doug talks at the same time as someone else and you lose their amazing content because, like, Doug was there too, so you gotta cut it out. But
Thankfully, no one on this podcast has ever had good enough content for that to be worth it.
There was that Rugrats joke I made though.
I'm gonna trust you on this one.
Well, yeah, you wouldn't. No one would remember because it got cut. Because Doug made his joke at the same. Doug made his joke at the same time. Yeah,
It was a
wasn't good
Rugrats
joke.
all grown up joke.
Huh?
An inferior show.
Yeah, it was.
The whole point of the Rugrats is that they're babies. That really is the driving like force behind that whole show.
Is that why
That's
they're called
literally what
Rugrats?
Rugrats-
Because they're like rats that are on rugs.
Well,
no,
that's-
Rugrats is just a name for children. That's why it's called that.
But that is because they're like little rats on rugs. Yeah, because
true.
they're down there on the rug.
Other rats can't go on rugs.
Well, yeah, because you wouldn't let them.
Yeah,
Babies are allowed down there.
rugs are like rugs are to rats what like circles of salt are to like demons or whatever, or ghosts.
Yeah, right.
That's
What
why
about normal
people.
carpet?
That's why
Like, can they go on carpet, or is it just rugs?
Just rugs.
it's just rugs.
Yeah.
No, maybe it's carpet because they probably when that term was invented, they probably.
Well, no one
That's
calls
why
babies
people.
carpet
That's why
rats.
people call. That's why people carpet their. Well, it's because of an alter. That's why people carpet their houses to make them rat proof, and that's why people in the old days used to have so many rugs to
I
stop
thought
the
it
rats
was
getting in
because
there.
they really, really wanted any liquids they spilt to stain.
Yeah, I was gonna say there was like no other reason to carpet your house, unless you don't want rats.
No, it's because you want if you spill some wine or something, you really want that to fucking stay there forever.
You want to like having a carpet in your house is like buying a legacy board game. You know, what you just.
Where is this going? I'm
You
so
know,
lost.
you know, legacy board games. They're board games, and every time you play them, you like permanently alter them in some way.
what?
And like,
What the fuck is that? I've never heard of
you've
it.
never heard of a legacy board game?
Neither have I.
Wait, Cam, seriously? They're like, so
you're gonna get fired
have you
for the
ever heard of
podcast.
Pandemic Legacy?
No.
Okay, so imagine Pandemic, right? You know the board game Pandemic?
Okay, the board game. Yeah.
Yeah,
Not just pandemic
I'm
legacies
thinking
in the
about
world right now.
right. It's a game
played
of
the beta.
Pandemic, but there is a story. It is there is a story to it. Every time you play it, you are progressing the story. As you go through as you play through multiple games of Pandemic Legacy, you will have like event cards which permanently change the game. Cities will be destroyed. New things will like be added to the map. Like you'll have stickers that you stick on the board and stuff. Cards, you can like rip up new cards or add new cards to the game permanently that are like in these secret pouches. I'm pretty sure it's like one of the number one board game, like Board Game Geek for a while.
I hate this.
It just sounds
What?
like every board game played by young children.
Yeah.
Apparently it's very good. There are some other really good legacy games too.
I guess. I don't know.
I
I,
think you
guess
should
if you're
give
not
it a
going to play
try.
it that many times, you don't lose any replayability. But like, I don't know. The idea of stickers, I hate it.
Well, it's like playing an RPG, right?
No, it's not.
In that you're not running the same one shot every time,
Yeah,
right?
it adds, like,
you
a
have a
little bit of-
campaign which changes. It's like that, but a board game. And also, it's going to take you like 15 plays of Pandemic Legacy to finish it.
I don't
and
want
like,
to play Pandemic 15 times.
yeah, but okay, if you don't want
I
to
know,
play
I know.
Pandemic 15 times, play a different Legacy game. The King's Dilemma is a good one, I think. It's very Game of Thronesy.
I don't think there's any game I would want to play 15
No,
times like that.
At least not close together. No, you gotta
You
have
space
breaks.
them out. You have them like weekly or
I guess
monthly
if it's
or
like a
something.
campaign, yeah.
Yeah,
that
it's
makes
like a
sense,
campaign.
but,
You're not playing it like, guys, 3 days. We got to play Pandemic 15 times.
This just sounds like one game of Monopoly, where it just extends over months and months and months and months.
It kind of is, except it's actually good. I haven't played a Legacy game, but I've heard they're very good. It's like, it's like a campaign. You set like a weekly time or whatever, and like you play this game and work through it.
The idea of like putting stickers in a campaign, it's the stickers I think
just
that's
feels
really
wrong.
ruined this for me. Because stickers are such a fucking risk.
They're not always use stickers. It's just an example of
All right.
permanently altering.
Okay, cool. Because
think-
if you take the stickers out, I'm immediately like significantly more on board.
Okay, there are Legacy games which don't involve stickers.
Unless we're talking about Risk, the game.
Risk-
Is there Legacy Risk?
Risk Legacy is like one of the first Legacy games.
All right. Well, that one's allowed to have stickers because that's just that's how stickers are.
Yeah. Okay. I'm glad you're on board for Risk Legacy. I was going to bring it up.
Risk Legacy does sound fun, actually.
Yeah.
I do like it when some kind of map evolves.
Well. I mean, it does in Pandemic as well. There's also, they made multiple Pandemic Legacies. They made Pandemic Legacy Season 1, which is just regular Pandemic.
There are
There's a whole
seasons?
season.
Yes, there was Pandemic Legacy Season 2, which is like post-apocalyptic Pandemic Legacy. And then there's
What?
guess what came after? Guess
Pandemic
what they
Legacy Season 3?
So, they had Pandemic Legacy Season 1, regular Pandemic Legacy Season 2, kind of post-apocalyptic.
COVID edition.
Pandemic Legacy Season 0 was the next one. Season 0, because it is Cold War.
What?
You're not even dealing with disease, you're dealing with like information.
Okay, that's interesting. I do hate the seasonal model on a board game.
It's not really
It
it's
might
not
be
really
better.
seasonal, it's more just instead of they put a
Yeah, they're
put
selling you the same board game again.
No,
but they
they're
found a way to
different.
do it. Yeah, I
they're
know.
They're quite different. Like Pandemic Legacy Season 2 is like an explorable map and stuff.
Okay.
It's not like Monopoly where it's just a
so
different
basically-
map but the same game.
Yeah, they made Pandemic Legacy 1, Pandemic Legacy 2, Pandemic Legacy 0. They just decided to put a season in front of them.
Yeah, they're selling you a different thing, but it's like part of the same IP. I understand.
Yeah.
I
It's
just
like
get-
same general mechanics as well.
Yeah, my first instinct is like fear, but that's because my first instinct to many things is fear.
He's an anxious man
Yeah.
in an anxious world.
Have you seen this
for
stuff?
fight or flight?
Yeah, oh no, all
But all
flight.
flight.
Yeah. I'm so good at flying.
You really took that Foo Fighters song to heart. You know what? Look,
I'm good. More like Foo Fighters. Am I right, fellas?
what superpowers did they have in this?
We're
Like,
gonna return
book
back to the vicious
I do want to
age
know.
there.
Claw this
What-
one back to the original point.
What superpowers? Like, I don't.
Yeah, what's the
I'm
superpowers
assuming this
was-
isn't a really old book that is
No.
like, my superpower is laser eyes.
It's true, because thinking about like new superpowers that you got to really work with, that's a
Yeah,
fun bit.
I want to think of what superpowers the writers are coming up with these days.
Yeah, I think it's from like I want to say 2013. That kind of range. So not super new, but also not like ancient.
Yeah.
One guy, he just like heals from all his wounds. He has a real savior complex though. Like we don't like him. He's the villain. He thinks he's the hero, but we don't like him. He's the villain.
Yep.
You know, vague spoilers for this book because I'm about to tell you everyone's superpowers. Someone else can turn up or turn down people's pain.
Yeah, all
It's
right.
like if you had a paper cut, he could make you not feel anything, or he could make it like the most painful paper cut ever to exist.
Like my paper cuts.
Yeah, like everyone's paper cuts. Maybe paper cut was a bad example.
No,
If you
no,
had
you're good.
some-
I see what you mean,
yeah.
though. Like,
Someone else could like bring dead bodies back to life, but they're missing something, as is quite standard. You know,
That's
if you bring
that's pretty standard.
always the same
necromancy.
thing or different things each time?
Is it like a physical thing, like,
No, not physically, but
or is it like mental?
and it's kind of different. So some people it was kind of like they didn't feel empathy as much as they might have before. It didn't really explain what it was. Just like
it's like a
sort of
psychological
different.
damage.
Yeah,
you come
and I'm
back
like-
wrong.
I'm like at the start of the second book, so maybe they'll go more into that.
I mean, when you die, you kind of and you come back, you're probably like, I don't care about hurting people as much because, like, you know, you've been there. You know, you can come back.
That implies horrible things.
Everyone with superpowers has died. The way they get superpowers in this universe is by having a near-death experience, except they actually die and then are brought back.
I believe that's just called a death experience.
Yeah.
Otherwise, aka dying.
No, they got near to it and then kept going. They got near.
And then they
You
just
have to
got
get near at
more
some
near.
point. Yeah.
The asymptote of a Asymptote.
A
however you
rapidly
pronounce
approaching
it.
death experience.
Yeah, as it approaches zero, death approaches infinity.
And then someone just, everything she says, this one's kind of horrible, everything she says people do, like if
Oh yeah.
she tells them to do something, or even if she just makes a vague suggestion, but she really hates it because she always liked,
Yeah,
trying
classic
to get...
fucked up power, yeah.
Yeah, and she always liked, trying to get her way and fighting for what she believed in, but now it's like there's no fight anymore. Like,
Yeah.
she just says something and everyone follows it, so now she's like, oh, the whole world is just sad because...
Yeah, I can't really have a meaningful interaction with another human being.
Yeah, and she can't turn it off, so, anything she says to someone, they're just gonna agree with.
That's a real psychological Midas touch.
Yeah. But,
That's how it be when you have a superpower.
If you touch something, its
What
brain turns into
superpowers
gold.
would you all... The classic primary school yard recess time question. What superpower would you have?
You son of a bitch, you're asking me a question.
What
I'm so bad at this.
What superpower would you
Cam,
have?
pick an
Have
arbitrary
you
thing.
not think? Have you
How
not
do you not
thought of
have
this?
one straight in the front of
Yeah.
your mind? I want to be able to shapeshift.
Okay, how can
Cam, what's your
people
favorite
have
color?
Fuck you.
Huh?
Fuck you.
Don't know that one. You're gonna have to give me the hex code.
Ah, Jesus. Color isn't... Okay,
We need a color and a superpower for your
Is
your super suit.
FUCKYOU a hex code?
no.
Oh,
F is. Well, F is part of one at least. Like,
dang.
it's A through F, and then...
What's the closest you
9.
can get? FACC
Yeah.
FAC?
I guess you could go like 00 for an ooh.
FACU.
Yeah,
You
right.
guys know way more
My-
about hex codes than I do.
My classic superpower in primary school, if someone asked me this question, my superpower would be to give other people superpowers, which I was so like chuffed about. I was like, I'm gonna be nice. I can give people superpowers, and
Can you take them
that's
away
a lot
again?
of power. No, I can't. One, that's a problem I never thought of. But two, now that I think about it, that's just like that's way too busted a superpower to like actually like genuinely like be reasonable in these discussions. Like at that point, I should just say I have every superpower. Yeah.
Your
'Cause you could
superpower is
just-
to give me other superpowers.
Yeah,
you could just-
exactly.
You just give your friend a superpower, and then like they have the power of flight. Now they can carry you.
Yeah. And anyway, if I wanted that superpower, I just GM a game of what's it called?
Several games. Mutants Mastermind.
Mutants Masterminds. Yeah, you just GM.
I
a
don't
game of that.
recommend it. Okay. Mutants Masterminds is very interesting and has the potential to be really, really good if you can fucking figure it out. My brain is too small. I was in a campaign of it. We printed out like a help sheet. We could not consistently understand what the fuck that system was asking us to do.
I have no knowledge of this system.
You stick with
whatsoever.
giant
Yeah,
mechs.
it's a system where you play superheroes. Or like it's got like a whole character gen thing where you can build basically anything from like the ground up. So you build mechanically what it does, and then you say what that is as like a flavor thing. So you can build all kinds of shit. We had a fun fucking set of guys. You want to go?
Please.
You gotta go
Yeah,
some,
yeah.
some fucking guys.
What's your group of superheroes?
So
We're
we had-
creating superpower.
we had
We're gonna
a-
see who's gonna win out of your team and the team from Lexie's book.
All right, yeah, okay. So we had a like super speed spy with some future tech.
You've like already won just on that. Like they don't have tech. They don't have like any knowledge or anything. They just get these by accident.
That's the least the least obviously fucked up powerful of the team. We had a dude who, as far as the team was concerned, was a billionaire who was not actively contributing to us, but was sort of like, it seemed to go better when he was around.
But then was Batman also on your team, and it's just the same guy?
No, so this was Ed's character. He built a dude who basically he was a billionaire because he woke up with infinite luck,
Ooh.
and so he was like very poor, but he then like won 14 lotteries and then like gambled into like infinite money. But a caveat that he purchased was that it was never like traceably him causing this. So like it was not. Yeah, you couldn't like pin it on him that he was causing it.
Which also puts a limit on the
Which-
luck, because it can't be, like, blaringly obvious to
Well, no,
everyone what's happening.
But the way that we interpreted it as a party was that we cannot connect that to him, and we do not believe him.
He's lying.
So we're like, he's a guy. He's great to have around. He says he's like a lucky charm to us, and yeah, basically.
But not really.
And like coincidence was like fucking roller skates
What
would
was his
materialize in front of
What
people.
was his superhero name?
I don't think we let him have one.
He doesn't deserve one. He doesn't
was
have any
just a
real
guy.
powers.
Leprechaun.
Yeah.
Leprechaun. Like Lucky Charms.
Yeah. No. Yeah.
From
so,
Miraculous.
Huh? Oh, I meant like from the
No.
cereal.
No, from Miraculous Ladybug. That's someone's superpower.
Oh, huh.
But yeah, so we were just like, yeah, he's a guy, like, he's sponsoring us, I think. We're letting him stay because it's not worth not letting him stay, and, like, he's right, things do seem to go pretty well when he's here, you know? That's pretty good. Oh, I'm forgetting someone. There was Bird Person, who was raised by birds, and because of that, he could shoot ethereal feathers and eviscerate people with his specifically disemboweling talons.
That is typically
And I
what
believe he
happens
could
when
fly.
people are raised by birds.
He was just a dude who was raised by birds.
So he didn't actually have feathers or talents?
He had feathers and talons. That's just what happens when you get raised by birds.
By proximity.
I, at one point, knocked him unconscious with a single punch due to what he did to my worm farm.
Unsurprising for someone raised by worms.
So yeah, my character
birds, not worms.
was Freelancer, who was a like 12th or 14th century Grail Knight, who had drank from the Grail and become like, you know, pinnacle humanity strength, like, and immortal. And so it's like, okay, I'm just gonna wander the planet killing dragons or whatever the modern equivalent is forever.
So Leon from BBC Merlin.
Very possibly. I haven't seen much of BBC Merlin, but
It's
so,
general
like,
headcanon that he's immortal and just
Been busy
continues
with a
living
different
forever.
Merlin.
so yeah, all of his stats were like
True.
above what humans could get in like physical stuff. He was just like a regular brain guy, like pinnacle physique, like maxed out. Like
This feels like
little
this
attractive
feels like
thing,
you've made a space marine.
a little bit. Really, the best part of him though, he had a motorbike now instead of a horse, but he was still wearing full plate and with a lance because that's fucking sick. And he had good rapport with Dave's character Condottieri, who was a 17th century Portuguese mercenary who had gained immortality through some contract law. As far as I'm concerned, he literally just made a deal with the devil that was very good. And so basically, in some way, his ability to not die was based off his ability to get a mercenary contract, and as long as he was contracted to be doing something, he couldn't die.
Simply
permanently.
contract yourself to do something.
Oh, that's cool.
I don't
That's cool.
think like that. I don't think that would work. Like I think there was rules to it. So basically, I think he just respawned somewhere. I specifically respawned at like my shrine that I had to maintain. But we met at some point in the 18th century, killed each other several times.
Well, like, why is this guy coming back?
Yeah, we had eventually like stopped killing each other on sight. And we're like, hey, you son of a bitch, how's it going? And it worked very well because Dave and I have known each other for a very long time now, and like at one point we were just walking to a job and like a very small demon like started following us. Without the rest of the party,
Friend?
David and I look at each other, walk into a side room, close the door behind the demon, and just talk it down. Like,
Make friend with demon.
no, we just sort of like shattered its psyche
Aw,
through nothing but just saying things that anyone could say. We just
so
like,
mean.
this was a bad decision coming here, little dude.
you've had centuries to think of ways to psychologically harm people, and you're going to use that time effectively.
Dave and I have an instinctive, not like a good cop, bad cop, but like, we think in different ways, but we know how the other one thinks well enough that we can just, yeah,
You got the tag team.
we can tag team just fucking talk demons into stupid shit.
Yeah.
And God help the poor GM that has to deal with that.
My bet's still on the team from Lexie's books because the guy with the pain thing and also
Yeah, it's very hard to deal with.
Yeah, like
And the
you
person
get,
who can just control people with
yeah,
words.
Yeah. We
like
couldn't stop
you
that.
get any wounds and you're in infinite psychological torture
Yeah.
because of the pain guy.
Not sure if you even needed a wound. I think you did.
You're
like-
in some pain, I
But
guess.
everyone's pretty much in, like, some kind of pain all the time, I
Right.
guess. Even if it's really
Yeah.
minor.
Yeah.
Yeah. your thing about the contract law reminded me of one of my favorite sci-fi stories, which is Bodega. Bodega is a... it's like a... Okay, I'll just refer to the book, which is Bodega Tales from the Bodegaverse.
Oh yeah, just quickly, one more thing about Condottieri. He was immortal, right? So Freelancer was better than a human can get at everything that was relevant to that.
Yeah.
Condottieri was as good as a human could get at that, and better at some things because it's like, well, it turns out if you can practice weaponry forever, you get better
really
than a human being can get. But that was the only thing he was at par with me on.
Everything else he was just
he was in great condition, but yeah, he was just a guy.
mint
So it was
condition.
like,
How did you kill
Factory
each
new.
other so many times then? Surely you just won every time.
well, I'm not allowed to use a gun.
You have a motorbike.
I didn't at the time. It was the 18th century. I had a horse.
He's got the Ned
so did
Kelly.
he, and he had a gun.
He's got the Ned Kelly plate armor, though.
Yeah, I had plate armor. Any of my weapons was like, it would theoretically be worse, but chances are I'd made them by squeezing.
Did your armor also get like upgraded to be immortal? Or did you just
No,
have to keep
I just had to
making
like
that
slam it
yourself?
into shape with my hands.
Once blacksmiths no longer existed, you
Well, yeah,
just
but like I knew how to, and again, like hands strong enough to just squeeze the metal into shape.
and can survive high temperatures and
Yeah.
all that fun stuff.
Relatively, yeah. Yeah, just
So,
Back to Bodega.
Bodega started on a different podcast to this, the Triforce podcast. It's one of my favorite podcasts. Go listen to it. It was originally just like,
I don't usually like Force podcast.
you might like this one.
All right, maybe I'll try
I
it.
heard you don't like. I heard you don't like Force podcasts. I've got a Force podcast you might like. But it started out as like a parody of like classic sci-fi.
Yeah.
And everyone really liked it, so that he kept writing more, and it became like actual kind of good sci-fi. I really want to get the book for the library, because it's quite funny. But the best actually no, I want to go about how it's funny more. There's a race of aliens called the Dildonians. They just look like penises.
Classic.
The main character has a huge mega vape, which
Sick.
he just can't help but take a hit of sometimes.
Just for context, how old is this thing? Just so I have, because I think I'm
Podcast
imagining it
era.
wrong.
It'd be
Right, podcast, yeah.
Yeah, it'd be like past 7 years. I
Written
don't
in
know.
the 70s.
I don't know.
That's what I was imagining, and I was very lost
No,
when we started talking.
it's very recent. But the best story from that, spoilers, is set on a world where the 90% of everything is done by robots, and the only job that can't be done by robots is lawyering. So
Okay.
Yeah,
every
that's fair.
or most jobs most things are done by robots, and the main thing that isn't done by robots is lawyering. They can't interpret the law. So in this society, lawsuits are currency. In that you sue someone, like you get employed and you sue your boss, and that's how you get like paid.
Yeah.
They sue you back. You're suing all your coworkers at the same time. They're all suing you. It's just how it works. Everyone's suing basically everyone.
Yeah. What if the social contract was instead legal contract that was assumed
Yes.
null and void? Well, not null and void, assumed to be difficult.
Yes, and it's basically impossible for any of these to ever be resolved. They're all pending lawsuits because there's way too many. And there is a character who is this elite hacker, and he has been imprisoned in this planet. He is like locked in his house in House Erect. They've got an impenetrable force field. The code is unknowable. It's on the outside. He can't even open it if he wanted to.
Yeah.
There's literally no way he can get out. It's basically impossible. And for the entire time, he's been saying a string of numbers, like 01, 0, 1, like a binary code, and it's just random information, like, it could be recipes, it could be theater scripts or whatever. But because it's so impossible for him to get out, he's being sued for all these crimes, and he's never going anywhere, and they're never going to be resolved, so it's like the most stable like stock on the planet.
Right.
Like 60% of the economy is based on this guy being imprisoned.
So is that how you invest? You just like sue someone, and that is an investment?
I'm not sure. It's
Or
not explained.
You like bet on the outcome of a certain contract.
I'm not sure exactly how it works.
It's in like lawyer hours or something.
Yes. But anyway, eventually the hacker gets broken out by the titular bodega, and it means
collapses.
The economy collapses.
Spectacular.
The whole world goes into anarchy.
I love dumb economies.
Yeah, it's the best.
Is
it's
that
the best
why
story
you
from
live
that.
here?
I
And
don't live here from choice.
By here I mean the Earth in general.
I said dumb economies, not horrible.
Do you have other dumb economies?
Well, I mean, like things like I mentioned a couple podcasts ago the Crebit,
Oh yeah,
backed up by Kreb work hours.
The Harry Potter monetary system where the like
Fucking
weight of
don't get
silver
me
and
started.
gold doesn't match. I don't know all the details, but it's like the gold and the silver in terms of if you just did it as the metal in the standard exchange rate, you would make a profit by
Yeah.
converting it into dollars. I don't know all the details, but it's just really bad.
I know an old D&D book had a 10-foot ladder you could sell for, it was like some amount, and you could buy it for some amount. 2 10-foot poles would sell for more.
So a 10-foot ladder,
You
which
buy
also
a 10-foot ladder, you cut it in half lengthways. That's 2 10-foot poles you can sell.
But why would you cut it in half lengthways when you could cut each bar
Without 10-foot
out and
poles.
stick them together
Well,
and
that's a
make
lot of
another
effort.
10-foot
You're already
pole?
making infinite
glue's
money.
really expensive in D&D because it's like fucking magical. Because motherfuckers could never invent glue before that. I don't know. But no, it's just 'cause it's easier. You can just sort of fucking go. 2 10-foot poles. You don't need to make it more complicated than that.
An economy I watched in an episode of Doctor Who literally yesterday, because my mum's rewatching Doctor Who, where they set up an exchange rate early on and then they contradicted themselves later, where they were like, I've spent 5,000 credits, we'll never pay that back. And then later on they established that 5,000 credits would only be equal to 100 UK pounds.
Oh, it'd be like that though in this economy. Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah, because the guy's like, oh, do you think £1 million is enough? Because he's an alien, doesn't know anything about money, and the doctor's like, that's equal to 50 million credits. And I'm like, that doesn't work with what you said before.
It's 1 banana. How much could it cost? $10?
I think there needs to be more movies about abusing the stock exchange using time travel.
All right. Doctor Who, though. So something I found out late last night when I was trying to sleep and instead thinking about this now was that... So Jodie Whittaker has now regenerated. Spoilers for Doctor Who, but like fucking
Spoilers
is it really?
for the news about Doctor Who, not actually Doctor Who. I haven't seen the last episode, but I know what happens at the end.
You know,
I know what
okay,
happens at
good.
the end.
I should have checked, but yeah. So if you don't mind Doctor Who season finale spoilers, then keep listening. If you do, listen in a little bit.
I think you've already spoiled it, so...
Jodie Whittaker
No,
is
he
finishing...
hasn't.
It's
big.
So Jodie Whittaker is finishing her tenure as the Doctor. We were going to get there eventually. You know, everyone... well, I was going to say everyone finishes their tenure as the Doctor eventually.
But apparently not.
Apparently not. So
Guess who's
yeah, if you were to
back?
guess who the next Doctor would be, you would guess somebody who's new.
You.
David Tennant too, baby!
He's coming back.
We're bringing back David Tennant. It's David Tennant, guys.
And
You remember David Tennant?
That's where we're up to in our rewatch. We're watching David Tennant, because the one I just mentioned was the one with like Kylie Minogue in it.
Oh, yeah,
the
yeah.
Christmas special. So that's where we're up to, and we're like, he's coming back.
John, you got the remote?
Sorry, I had to search up who David Tennant is, and I'm like, man, I hope it's this Doctor.
He
This
looks
is-
so... Okay.
I hope
He's
it's
in-
this Doctor, and
he's
it
in
is. This is the guy
Yeah.
when you say Doctor Who, I'm like, this
Yeah,
guy.
That's the guy you imagine.
Like,
yeah.
don't get me wrong, I really liked Tennant's Who. You know, it was a good era. Two things. One, boy, the scene that I saw of that regeneration...
I haven't seen it. I just haven't had it described to me by someone who has seen it.
really weirdly, like, green screen CGI'd.
And he changes clothes. I'm so disappointed, because usually when the Doctor regenerates, they're wearing the clothes of the previous Doctor. But in this one, he's like wearing his... Apparently he's wearing his own suit or something. And I'm
that's
like,
weird.
that's stupid. I wanted to see him with like wearing Jodie Whittaker's like way too small,
Yeah.
like cropped shirt.
Yeah, that'd be fun. He looks so emaciated, but like that's just like the look he's going. Like the makeup really emphasizes he looks thin compared to what he used to. His like sunken cheeks.
I haven't
That's
actually
just what
seen it. I
David
just like
Tennant
know what
looks
happens.
like now, though.
They've
I
actually
think.
resurrected him as a skeleton.
Fair enough. But yeah, I don't know. To me, it's like it shows so little confidence in both their own writing and in literally every actor.
Yeah, but I like this guy.
Yeah, I like the guy, but it's like shit, dude.
Well, I think it's because people have like kind of gone off Jodie Whittaker, which I don't think is her fault. I think it's like the story's fault.
It is. Yeah.
It's not her being bad at being the Doctor. It's because she's getting like a bad deal with the story. So they're like, how can we bring the people back?
Yeah.
We'll bring back the fan
Oh,
favorite.
they love David
who is
Tennant.
my favorite.
Yeah.
But You know, that's
Tennant,
a bit rude to everyone else.
Yeah, top 2 for me, I think, or at least of Modern Who.
I've only seen Modern Who. I've only seen from Christopher Eccleston
I got a big soft
onwards.
spot for Eccleston. I think he was very good. I don't know, Classic Who I've only seen like sporadic bits of, but some of it's very endearing.
I haven't seen like any of it. I've only seen from Eccleston onwards.
Yeah, look, not a lot of Classic Who is. Oh, I don't know how much of it is spectacular. Some of it's very good. Some of it's not good. It's like
That's
everything.
like
I guess.
everything.
Yeah. I like Sylvester McCoy. I think he was funny.
I'm having to Google every single one of these people.
I don't know any of the Classic Who people. I only know the like recent ones.
But like it's so. It's like this whole thing with reboots at the moment where it's like, okay, no one's confident in making a new thing, right?
We'll just redo the old thing.
The old thing. And apparently David Tennant is back for like a 3-episode special or whatever, but it's still like...
That's what I heard, yeah.
It's so weak. It's like, fuck, just write a story that is good.
And it's not even like they're crossing paths. It's like he is the Doctor. I'd be kind of more open to it if it was like they ran into David Tennant as the Doctor.
Yeah.
Because then it's like he's not coming back as the Doctor. Like there have been a few with Matt Smith and David Tennant in them together, and like the War Doctor.
I have to agree on them. Like, it feels like so much fucking shit, which is just remakes and like no confidence in.
When you have 3 Spider-Men in one movie, I mean, like too many Spider-Men.
Okay, if fucking like 5-10 years ago they'd gone like, okay, let's bring David Tennant back from a regeneration as like an interesting plot point, that would be like a little different, right? It is
like not a plot point. It's a cell deal.
Yeah, it's definitely a neat mystery of like, why has he done that? But it's like, well, he's done that. It doesn't matter why he's done that, because we know that more important than the mystery is they wanted to get David Tennant back because of the nostalgia bait.
Yeah, it's not about the story, it's about getting people to watch it and
which is
make
like,
money and stuff.
Just very disappointing. And it's like the guy that made Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends.
Yeah?
They're doing a Netflix reboot of that because he was like, yeah, look, I didn't want to be doing this. I pitched 16 originals to Netflix.
It's that guy, yeah.
Yeah, he pitched 16 original shows to Netflix and they turned them all down and they were like, no, we don't have confidence that these new things will work. We want something that already works.
There are some remakes I'm pleased about. The new Percy Jackson show.
Yeah.
I am excited. It looks like it's going to be far more book accurate than the movie was.
Oh, I'm going to buy that book.
So to me, that's not even like a reboot, right? It's like, okay, they're making a live-action adaptation of a thing. When the first try was bad, I don't mind as much, right? It's like, okay, let's try and do this but good with people who like the thing.
Better.
But when like they reboot something that was good, I'm like, fucking why? Just leave it. Leave it alone.
Just let it be. Or like extend it. Don't start again.
Make a new thing.
Yeah, like extend from where you left off. Don't like start again from the start.
Yeah, that depends on where I left off, right? Because like
obviously.
Fucking the new Star Wars trilogy.
Okay,
I wish they hadn't. And I love Star Wars, but
yeah.
And someone got paid to write down like Palpatine magically returns, and you're like,
well, you know,
in Fortnite, it happened in Fortnite.
The reason that they had to open that fucking movie with somehow Palpatine returned is because Palpatine's actual return speech that they reference in the movie was a Fortnite event. He gave that speech in Fortnite.
What?
The game
Fortnite exclusive event.
Fortnite Battle Royale.
And so they were like, we're not giving the speech again, the one that gives context here.
Lexie, do you have
because it's already happened in Fortnite.
Do you have any idea how insanely big and how many crossovers there are in Fortnite?
No, I've never played Fortnite.
There was when like the MCU like Endgame was happening, there was a Fortnite event where like you could like become Thanos like in the game,
yes,
and
that's
just in a game
in the movies, which is horrifying. Thanos is real.
You can play. I think the greatest clip is that Twitter clip of someone playing Ariana Grande in Fortnite, and they walk and they go like open a fridge, and then fucking Rick Sanchez from Rick and Morty, who has been swimming like a dolphin in the water, jumps out and Kamehamehas him, killing her instantly.
Literally everything I know about Fortnite is from that weird cover song, and I wish it had stayed that way.
That's fair. I'm sorry to do this to you, but yeah. I mean, like, you know, crossover characters and skins and stuff is fine, but like, that's the actual Star Wars plot for the movies that they put in Fortnite as an exclusive that's not in the movies anymore.
Yeah. And now if, like me, you don't know anything about Fortnite, you're just like, what happened here? Like,
yeah, well, because it was just like, wow, that's atrociously bad writing, and like, it still is when you know it's worse even.
You know that? Do you know they added Kelsier to Fortnite?
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
I was very tempted to play because they added Kelsier. Yeah. Apparently, Brandon Sanderson's good friends with like one of the like very high ups for Fortnite.
That's fair enough. Like I don't know, adding a character from a thing that like
It's a relatively
you're
niche
just
thing.
you're just adding a character skin and maybe like a thing like that's niche and it doesn't hurt it. It's like, oh, this doesn't hurt Fortnite. This doesn't hurt Mistborn.
It's a niche thing, not in this room, but in the world in general. It's a relatively niche.
It's a way of being like,
so.
yeah, I've got, you know, I'm
Yeah.
expressing my enjoyment of a different thing inside this thing that I enjoy.
The-
Like,
Yeah, that's
sweet,
fine.
that's great.
Star Wars episode.
But imagine if like
He wrote
Nine.
another
Mistborn: The
book.
Secret History was a Fortnite exclusive.
That'd be funny as hell.
Right?
Like, it sucks, but
that would suck so bad.
it sucks so bad. I'd find it...
I don't
I don't know.
have you
I just
read,
find any
Mistborn?
Fortnite crossover a little bit funny.
I have only read the like 3 first
That's fair. Yeah, no,
books.
that's
I started reading the 4th one that's like set 100 years later. Or
Cowboy Times.
I
Yeah.
think so. I
Yeah, no, the
started,
Alloy
I
of Law.
started reading it and did not get into it as much as I had with the first 3. And
That's fair.
kinda
I think I
stopped.
enjoyed the second era of Mistborn more than the first one.
The
to be
second year,
honest.
it
I didn't
can,
try very hard.
It can take a bit to get into, but it goes really interesting places. And it is going to be a 4-book trilogy because the man writes too much by accident.
Yeah, the first
fun-
one's supposed to be
fun
like
fact.
a linking book or something.
So
bridging book.
Mistborn was meant to be 3 trilogies, right? It was meant to be the first Mistborn trilogy, and then one that's set in the technological equivalent of the 1980s, and then one in sci-fi times. And then he wrote Alloy of Law as like a one-off, which was between the first 2 trilogies.
And then
and
I'm
was
going
like,
to write another one.
No, I've got to turn this into a trilogy. And that trilogy's going to be 4 books long now.
It's a 4-book trilogy,
yeah.
yes.
And so there's going to be 4 Mistborn trilogies.
What? Really?
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
Yeah, and one of them's
that's
4
sick.
books long.
Now with this information,
We are
I
getting.
want to
It's
try
going to
again.
take us longer to
And,
get into sci-fi.
And
That's-
even more fucked up about that is that he wrote the second book in this trilogy, the second one, as a warm-up to writing the 3rd book. So he dumped both of those within 6 months of each other. And then you finish the 3rd one, and it's like, hey, take a look at this link to a novella that I also wrote that you can read right now.
Oh, is that
That's Mistborn: The Secret History.
Mistborn:
Yeah.
Secret History is really
This is
good.
everything I know about Brandon Sanderson, is that you just wake up one morning, he's like, I've released 6 books.
Well,
You're welcome.
His philosophy, he's like doctors aren't allowed to have doctor's block. I'm not allowed to have writer's block.
One,
As
as far as
he's
I
got
can tell, he enjoys what he does.
Hasn't he hired? He's got like a assistant now. He's got another writer working.
Oh, he
with him.
does now, but like even then, he's like it's like he doesn't. He's like writer's block. If he writes badly for a day, he writes badly for a day, but he does write all the time because it's like that's his job, man.
Yeah, I've heard that from other authors as well, where they're like, I must write for at least, half an hour a day, and if that's all I do, that's all I do. If I get into the swing of it and write for 8 hours, great. But,
Yeah.
I will write something every day.
Low minimum quotas are good.
That's
There's
gonna be me writing for Piffle.
well, like
Yeah, we have to
there's
mention it.
the paradox there where if you set a like mid or high quota, you're actually fucking yourself over. So like it's like a thing with taxi drivers. If they set themselves a quota, right? It's like I have to earn this much and then I stop for the day. On a day where things are slow, they're working longer hours for the same pay. Whereas on a day that they're getting it quickly, if they were to just work more that day, they'd earn more in the same amount of time, and then they could go home and having made more money.
Yeah, that's why I've always heard, like,
Quotas are
authors do, set a low minimum, but
Yeah.
then if you want to keep going, you
Yeah,
keep
just keep
going.
going,
You don't stop when you reach your minimum.
Yeah.
It just means that every day you're like, I've committed to doing at least this much.
And then
You
you're
don't
always
even know now
stopping
you're
when
allowed to stop.
Then you're stopping when you feel like it.
Yeah,
You're
and it's
always-
got to be low enough that it's not like, okay, the moment I've hit this, I can finally stop. It's like, all right, I've started. Yeah.
And usually that's the hardest bit, especially with something like writing where, the blank page.
Oh, the blank page is a nightmare.
baby.
I was talking about writing today. I think because I've done like writing exercises and stuff, right? Like I've done a little bit of like fiction writing with Merlin at one point.
Put them in Piffle. They are
Oh,
welcome.
this was years ago. Merlin
Dig
should
them
write
out
them
and
out.
put them in Piffle.
Well, my issue is I can't write stuff because it's the same reason I fucking really struggle with essays and things. A huge part of the way I communicate is that I need to be able to get the reactions of the person I'm communicating to. Like, I can't talk in a vacuum if there's not someone there to say things at and, like, either see them react to it or hear them react to it. I just don't function.
So you're saying you'd be a terrible Twitch streamer?
Yeah.
So write with
That or
someone,
I'd have to be
write
talking to
with-
chat
with
non-stop.
Merlin.
Oh yeah, no, I have. It's writing, so I can have like a chat on the phone with someone, right? That's close enough. But writing specifically does not work for me because I can't get that immediate response.
Interesting.
So I will be like halfway through a sentence and I'm like, I don't know if the words I've written make sense.
That's why I find it really hard to write anything that I'm deliberately trying to make funny.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, if I'm trying to write a story and tell a story, I can do that. But if it's trying to be funny, I really need the immediate feedback. The same way I can't deliberately be.
Yeah,
funny
I guess
in
when
writing.
you're trying to write to be funny, you gotta kind of like you kind of gotta like mind read in the future. Like, what is the person thinking about or expecting?
Yeah.
And then you gotta like divert that.
Yeah, I can write deliberately to make people sad or angry, but not funny, because it's just without that feedback, how do you know if your joke has landed? You don't.
Yeah, well, it's like I'm not sure that even like my sentence good, because so much of my communication is broken anyway. Like, I'll say a sentence that's not viable in it. Like, if I wrote it down, it would not make sense.
There isn't a standard when you're saying like
but,
verbally
like,
usually.
When I'm talking to someone, I can say dumb shit and know that by looking at someone I'm talking to, that the thing that I've said has grepped. They understood it. You both understood what I meant by that.
Yes.
I read a paper about this yesterday.
Neat. Fuck yeah.
It was not a good paper, though.
Ah.
It was very hard to read and very long. Jen, I'm pretty
enough.
sure you have to read the same papers, or you probably already have.
I think the
Which
longest, hardest to
papers?
read
What?
paper
About
I've ever got.
interpersonal communication.
Oh, maybe. Yeah. Yeah. Was this for a lab report?
No,
I can't remember.
just in general, like the reading for the week and the lab.
No, I don't
Sorry,
recall this. The only subject I do my readings for is philosophy.
Then you have not read them. Would not
Actually, no, I
recommend,
read the
don't
text.
them.
I read the textbook for the social psychology unit, but I did most of that in like the first
I'm so far behind on the reading.
4
so many
weeks
that I'm
of
gonna
Yeah,
get for.
it's not in the textbook. It's one of the ones where it's readings provided.
Yeah, okay, not doing that.
Understandable. would not recommend.
Yeah, no, if someone gives me a PDF of a thing to read, I'm not reading it.
One of them's 4 pages long and it's solid and snappy, and I was like, yes, this is good scientific writing. And the other one's 40 pages long and it's terrible.
Yeah, that sucks.
If you gotta tell me this is gonna be.
This is directly examined. You must read it.
Yeah, you either gotta tell me this is essential reading or I'm reading it for like assignment research. Those are the only 2 times I'm reading something.
You want to hear a fucking nightmare story?
You have a lot of nightmare uni stories.
Yeah.
I always like them.
It's fun to say. Thank you. But yeah, for myths and legends of the Greeks and Romans, the way that unit is
just say
structured
myths
is
and legends of the
so
camp.
weird. So, we get given a list of
Camps unit.
sources, and those sources are given to us
Tomato,
as
barbecue,
images or quotes
curry
Right.
ketchup,
with no
smoky
context.
barbecue.
And it's like, these are the, like, here is like some it was like 30 sources, right? And so it's like, here's a picture of a vase, here is an excerpt from a thing, but with no context. And it's like, these are, some subset of this will be what the exam questions are on.
Okay.
These may be from anywhere in any of the readings or lectures.
And you have to identify yourself where they're from.
And it's like,
Are they directly mentioned in the readings or lectures,
Yeah,
or do
like-
you have to connect them?
usually they were, but it was like, fuck, man, it's just busy work to make us dig through everything.
Yeah,
here.
like,
and
just-
it's like, I get that he's like, yeah, well, I want you to actually like have understood and like read everything. I'm like, fuck off. No.
Simply make a quiz each week. Then I can get
he did.
1% for
He did.
doing the readings, because then it feels like it's worth doing.
Yeah, but yeah, no, it was just, it was a night, and it was like all multi-choice questions where it's like, okay, so things like, oh, no notes as well from memory, or something like that. Oh no, I think, yeah. And it was like, you've got to remember the year that each thing was published or
Who
constructed.
cares?
It's like,
Oh my god, this
and
is
it's
what
like,
this
that's
is
the
why I
worst
do
part
not
of
do
history.
ancient history.
If you're actually doing, like, if you're going further into a history degree or you're studying history properly, right? If you're studying a source,
You'll know everything about it.
even if you don't, you'll be able to look it up. It's like,
Yeah,
oh, this
no-
is a thing we're studying. Either you're actively trying to figure out what year it was made, in which case,
Well,
yeah,
you have Wikipedia.
that's a puzzle to solve. But if it's known already, you've got that. No motherfucker needs to know that. It's
And if
just,
they do
ugh.
need to know, they'll know it just because they're looking at this source for 8 hours a day. They will learn that information.
and like digging
naturally.
through 12 weeks of like multi-reading weeks, right, where you'd have like several readings that week from different excerpts and things, and like scrolling through it, and it's not all text searchable because a lot of it's, you know, how readings are, where it's a fucking scan of
The ugliest
document.
PDF you have ever
Yeah.
seen in your life.
Looking for like one line of a thing or for one horribly garbled image. And you're like digging through that and you're like, okay, I've found the thing.
That's just useless search. This reminds me of in stats, at least for psychology, a friend of mine who's doing like finance, or such, was complaining about doing stats, and I'm like, oh, what do you do for stats? And they're like, oh, like I don't like the calculation part. I'm like, the calculation part, we have the software now. You don't need to do the calculation of stats. Basically, like my past 2 stats units, like my high-level stats units for psychology, there is no calculation because we just have software. It's not about, like, you never have to do calculations if you're ever using these stats.
The grounding is useful, I suppose. But the actual calculations...
The calculations we've learned was, like, the most basic stats test.
And you did them on really easy numbers, because if you're ever going to do them on big data sets,
and it's they're literally like, here's the software, here's the buttons you click. Now, we're going to teach you how to interpret these. And
which is the important
That's what you actually need.
Yeah.
I do love doing stats in psychology where they actually teach you how things work, because they have like a whole unit that's just about stats, and then you go into other units and they just lie to you.
Yeah.
And I'm going, that is incorrect. Really? You are misinterpreting things. Well, it's not necessarily wrong, but they definitely leave out a lot of information, because I've only done the second year psych one, but now in physiology they're just like, we'll just pretend ANOVAs don't exist.
There's 2 third year psych stats units as well.
Yeah,
maybe it's just my fucking math brain, but stats is one of the units that I've like back when I was like very young and an infant and at uni. I would turn up to my friends' lectures with them. I turned up to a friend's stats lecture just to hang out and answered several questions and got Mars bars thrown at me by the lecturer. And I was like, oh, cool.
That's sick.
Yeah.
The only lecture I've nearly showed up to just for fun was like an Italian lecture that was 2 years behind what I was doing, and I was like, this could be fun.
Yeah, I turned up to the first lecture of a Latin unit and was like, oh, Latin's... Yeah, this is pretty good. I can sort of understand how this works.
To a lecture that wasn't mine.
Finally did Latin like 4 years later and was like, yeah, it's alright.
I had friends taking Latin, and we were all studying Italian Studies 6, and they were studying Latin 1, and they were struggling, and we're going, what is the rest of the class? We are in the native stream Italian. How is anyone else even, passing this unit if we're struggling?
Oh, sorry, it wasn't a Latin lecture, it was a Latin tutorial I turned up to.
What?
Because I was like, fuck it, I'm hanging out with my friend. I'll turn up to, because it's a unit that I'm interested in, because I'm a fucking 40k nerd and I love my shitty fake Latin. I'd love to learn some real Latin at some point. And again, I eventually did. But yeah, at some point the tutor asked me my name, doing the role, and I panicked and gave my name.
And they went on and
she's like, I'm not seeing you on the list here. I'm like, oh, that's odd. Because I was like, I was doing well. Because it was the first shoot of the year.
Oh, okay.
So I was like on board and like picking things up pretty fast.
Imagine that tutor emailing the unit coordinator being like, someone called Cam was in my tutorial. Can you
Never
check
turned up again.
if he's been misallocated?
Yeah. Do you think they missed you?
I don't know. I try not to think.
You run into that tutor again someday and you go,
I probably have since. I know that it's not the tutor I had, because
I ran into a high school teacher at uni once, because they were having like a school outing, like an excursion to the uni.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, Jesus Christ. This has been a while.
Hi,
miss.
The last time I ran into a high school teacher was just after camp last year, where I was, I just had my heart thing going on. Mm. So my psychiatrist was like, you can't have this medication right now, because it'll fuck up your heart thing, which it turns out is wrong, but he needed a cardiologist to sign off on it so that he didn't feel liable, whatever, right? So I was not properly medicated, and I'd just driven home from camp, and I'm exhausted. I'm like, haven't shaved in like a week. And I was...
That's like...
Yeah, I ran into a fucking teacher, and I was like, hey, how's it going? And, like, I'm a mess. I have no, like, no accomplishments. I can barely fucking put a sentence together. I'm like, oh, Jesus.
What constantly scares me is the idea that, yeah, I intend to do honours, and once I do, I will be more qualified than, 90% of the teachers at my high school.
Oh my God.
Who just did their, like, grad cert in teaching, and I'm going, I can't be more qualified than you. That's not allowed.
The apprentice becomes the master.
God, yeah, it is weird, like, learning things and being like, oh, the people who taught me things before this don't know
this information.
Don't know this stuff.
I was thinking the other day, because my primary school lives like is like a 5-minute walk from my stepdad's house. So I'm just like, what if on a school day I just like walk in to like the lobby and just go like, yeah, hi, I'm a ex-student here. I used to go here like 10 years ago.
I drive past my school every day.
You're young enough that you can still get away with that.
Yeah.
It starts to get weird past 25.
Yeah, okay, that's fair enough.
I don't know that for sure.
I'm a little concerned about walking onto a primary school. Like,
if you're old enough that you can pretend to have a kid, you can be like, yeah, I'm just checking it out. This is where I went.
Cam,
I don't think you should be lying about
why.
I suppose, but they're like, it's more like...
No, I just... Yeah.
You know, it's
about
the, so that nobody gets fucking, like, weird about it.
As long as you
That's
go
why
to
I'm,
the
like,
lobby on
going
your way
to the
in.
lobby.
You're
right?
fine.
I'm not just, like, walking through...
Yeah, don't do that. Don't
like,
just
the
walk
fucking,
around.
Lobby. I'd be like, is there any, like, old teachers? I wonder if there's...
Just go on a weekend.
Yeah, but then there's no one around.
Yeah, that's fair.
Then I've already...
Honestly, the biggest thing about being in your old primary school is how fucking tiny everything will be,
True.
and that is best experience with no one around.
True.
I gave my old music director a heart attack when I went back to the school because they have these internship positions for alumni, and I was going back for an interview, so I was wearing, obviously not school uniform, I had graduated, and a mask, because this was, you know, peak COVID last year, and I was walking next to him, and then I just started talking to him, and he goes, what? You know, hadn't recognized me wearing the wrong outfit with the mask on.
Also, you know, several years older than a primary school student.
I should
No,
dig
as
out
long
my
as it was
old...
high, this was
I should dig out my old school uniform when I go there.
Squeeze into that bad boy.
Squeeze into that bad boy.
I went to the same school the whole way
I'm
through.
an ex-student,
so
can you tell?
I went to the same school the whole way through. Like, I started this school when I was 4 and graduated at 18
Wow.
in effectively the same uniform.
That's fucked up.
I got
That
a
is
little ugly
fucked.
trophy for it too,
Spectacular.
with my name on it that
Number
says
one
Collegian.
high school.
I know Geordie
Royale.
went to the same school the whole time and got a little badge. It was in a special club about it. That club didn't do anything as far as I'm aware, but you got a special little badge.
We didn't have a club.
The only club at my school was the 99 Club.
We didn't have one of those either, which makes me sad. And those things are pointless though, because is that just the, like, you got a 99 ATAR and now you're in the club, but
Yeah.
they don't do anything.
Huh? You get your name on a little plaque.
By the
My
time
school
you're
doesn't
in
have
that
one of
club,
those.
you've finished. You're done. You're allowed to leave.
All the if you want to get on a plaque at my school, you gotta finish.
If you want to get into plaque, you are on my teeth.
We had plaques for year 12 leadership positions and year 6. But we didn't have a 99 club. That wasn't a thing, which made me sad because I wanted my name on a plaque. I was like, I earned this. Where's my plaque?
Oh, I lived a great plaqueless existence. I can't even imagine being on a plaque. I think that would kill me on the spot.
Yeah,
I'm on a few from year 6.
You've brushed your teeth twice every day. Plus 2.
I'm on a perpetual trophy too.
Nice.
They never actually gave it to me.
But you're
They
on
gave-
there.
They
I
gave
reckon
it
you
to
should
me in the
go in
assembly.
and take it.
I think the only plaque I've ever seen that
mine
I'm
now.
like, I would love to be on that kind of plaque one day, is a plaque that never ended up like being put on a thing. But when Unigames got its new bookshelves when they moved into what UDS is now, Roland, who was an ex-librarian, was promised basically he would allow it to be the Roland Kerr Memorial Bookshelf if Winslade made a plaque.
We should make
I
a
think he
plaque
3D
for.
printed it.
We should make a plaque for all of you who did the transfer onto collectors
I think
in
I-
memory of
I
the
think
2020 commission.
We should all be life members.
Yes, you earned it with that.
you lost months of your life. You can get lifetimes of membership. I reckon all the bookshelves should have a different plaque on them for librarians. Yeah,
I actually think that
You just want
sounds
that
fun
because
as
you want a
hell.
plaque.
yeah. I am so biased in this as current librarian. I mean, how many librarians has? Well, there's how many bookshelves are here? 1, 2.
It depends if you count this as 1 or 2, or not that
That's
one.
1,
Like those
2,
ones which are
3,
attached.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12-ish.
And then the
I'll
great
just say
honor of the
11.
compactus goes to the greatest librarian ever. You get the whole compactus just for you.
I said we've got like 11 bookshelves. Surely, how many?
I don't think
many-
that's a real number, because bookshelves don't have like a consistent size.
You could do each individual shelf.
Yeah, like this is a good place to put it, but this one's not. Whereas you could put,
If you're a good librarian,
you can put like
you get a
a
better
plaque
spot.
on each
I reckon
shelf.
you just put it at the very top. No, we've got
At the
11
very top, no one
bookshelves.
can read it.
Sorry, we've got our awards at the very top where no one can read.
Yeah, awards are big. You can read those.
No,
I cannot.
No, you can't.
Okay, I'm
no one
sorry.
knows what,
I
like,
have fucking.
No one knows what the
laser eyes.
3 rings are, or like the gnomes, or like
Oh,
the hippo
to
in
be
the
fair,
trophy.
those don't have words on them. right?
Yeah, the ring one does. It's
Doesn't
like,
it?
yeah, it's War of the Ring.
Oh, yeah, to be fair, but you can read it. It's just that it's not meaningful.
Huh? Yes, it is.
So
It's meaningful to me because we beat...
You were saying you couldn't read it up there, but you can, clearly.
Well, that's because I was cleaning the top of those and I had to take them down.
The gnomes
I was
just don't have
dusting
letters
them.
on them, do they?
I think they might. I don't know.
I know where at least some of them
The
came
War
from.
of the Ring thing, though, is from when UniSFA used to do laser tag with
the curtain.
with the curtain
Sci-Fi
equivalent of the Sci-Fi
Yeah.
Club.
Rest
and-
in peace, those guys.
Yeah, and apparently we had some like actual players on our team, so we just fucking destroy
Destroyed
them
them.
every time. And this went on, and War of the Ring, which was the name of it, happened until the Curtain Club disbanded. So I like to think that the reason they disbanded is they just got destroyed a
fucking
little
ruined,
too
yeah.
hard in laser tag.
Their morale was so low.
I love the UniSFA plaque there for making a number of laps and earning some money for Relay for Life. I don't know if we did well, and I don't know why we got that plaque. Did we like really go fast, or we just get that for fun? I don't know. That lightsaber was a baton though, which is why.
I mean, our
our
baton this year looked almost like that as well. It
Yeah.
was just a red tube.
lightsabers. It's a good, but like yeah,
No,
you know
as
what?
in
No,
they just
plastic
gave
lightsaber.
us. They
oh,
just
yeah.
gave us.
There's
the
some
baton.
cool things. There's some cool things up in the
Yeah.
corners of the room. We've got like the weird wizard and space thing.
There was a poster that we had that was like an X-Wing trench run poster that I like hard dibs when we got rid of it.
Oh, I love
And
that.
we did get rid of it, and I grabbed it. I put it in my room, and it got thrown out. And I was so sad. I'd waited years for that poster.
We have a Spider-Man poster in the corner that I didn't think we
Yeah,
ever
there's
did
one
anything with.
rolled up that we were going to put up somewhere and then we didn't.
Yeah. We've got the Danger...
I've seen that poster
we've
nearly
got-
fucking
We've got
kill
the
someone.
Danger 5 helmet. That's
Danger
a-
5 helmet is very cool.
Yeah, we need a plaque
we have
for
a
that.
helmet, which is a prop from, well, a bit of costume, I guess, from Danger 5, the show. It's a little bit of Australian sci-fi history
What's
that we
above
have.
me right now?
That's
The
that's
Danger 5
Danger 5
helmet.
post. Sorry, Danger 5 helmet, yeah.
And there's the trans peg that we
There's
got
also
from
a star.
Quiz Night.
Yeah, there's also the trans peg in the corner.
I'm pretty sure that peg... is that the same peg we used to have but painted?
Yes.
Okay, cool. So
It's not a new
I
peg.
know where that came from.
Where
Huh?
did it come from?
It
So
came.
when
You know where
there
it came
used to
from
be
when it
cupboards
came out.
up in the loft that other clubs stored shit in, right? I
Yeah.
think they're still up. They've been replaced. There's new cupboards up there.
Yeah, they're
Before they
horrible
were
to clean.
replaced, we had to empty them out, right? Because
Yeah.
Guild wasn't going to do it. So we were like, all right, Guild has said that these cupboards are not assigned to anyone anymore. They're all
So-
assigned to defunct clubs.
Free for all.
So we fucking threw a lot of shit away. And I found that peg in one of them.
Huh.
Cool.
That's
Trans
where it
peg.
came from. We got that for free.
So
Do you
would you say
remember
the
what club
trans
it was?
peg came out
No.
of the cupboard?
Yeah. Yeah. That's how it is.
We also have the Star Wars poster with Darth Vader,
Yeah.
and also Millennial
Dimensions.
Dimensions. I couldn't read
The
it.
Dimensions one's really heavy, and I have seen it hit someone in the, like, fall down and hit someone in the leg and nearly hit their laptop. Terrifying.
Jesus, so these bookshelves scare me. I was moving
know.
around books, and I'm like trying to push a book in, and they shake, and I'm like, this could just collapse and kill
Yeah,
me.
it's the heavy posters that worry me, but most of the bookshelves aren't likely to fall off, but the stuff on top of them might.
They scare me.
Yeah, that's fair.
If there's ever an earthquake in Perth, we're going to come back in here afterwards and go, oh my god.
Earthquake.
Earthquake.
Oh, look, if you know, worst case scenario, we get the Great Hailstorm of 2010 or 11. You all remember that?
Oh,
Yeah, you all
roughly.
know- It was a big deal.
I was a baby. I was
That
in
was
like
it was a big day for
I
me.
think I was in year 3.
yeah. I think I was in year 3,
That sounds
year
about
4.
right. My brother.
Well, if I was in year 3, you were in year 4, so,
Yeah.
close enough.
I remember
You're gonna
my brother and I got the bus home that day and like just got inside before it started hailing. Crazy.
I just remember walking
It
around the
hails-
school looking at all the branches on the ground.
It hailed recently, and it kind of looked like snow at my house.
Oh, it hasn't hailed like that in my life other
Yeah.
than that day. But that fell through the roof in Cameron Hall in a lot of places, right? Like,
Wow.
Did a
the
number on UCC.
You were in
did.
Cameron Hall.
No, I wasn't.
Oh, okay.
I only know about
Fuck me, man.
barely, but yeah, no, fair enough.
We're
I
in year
deserved
3
that.
and 4 and Cam's in Cameron Hall already.
I was
Look,
there. And
any-
it was only a little bit.
I'm gonna be
before
honest.
me.
Any hole he would have been in at that point would have
It's
been
always
Cameron
Cameron
Hall.
Hall.
But yeah, it fucked up the roof in here and flooded UCC's whole room, right in their server room.
And then they
And
got
UCC
money.
had because UCC had a bunch of old servers and things.
Do you not know this, John?
This is
You may
ringing a
have heard
bell.
it, but yeah, like so, the thing is with old servers is that they weren't very good, but they were very expensive when they were purchased, right? So they were worth, in theory, a lot of money, but they were actually not.
Do they not count like the depreciation?
They're also like they're historic as well. But the thing
Okay.
is, that's why UCC has so much money in their like long-term account. because they got a massive insurance payout from that.
UCC commits insurance fraud.
No, because it was worth
legit
that much
insurance.
money. Like that much
But
money
surely
worth of stuff was
I
destroyed.
did accounting and finance in year 11 and 12. Surely they have to like count the depreciation of that.
So, okay, the thing is that UCC is a pretty big deal in a way that isn't really acknowledged anymore, or at least not often. UCC is like was a very early computer club in this country, and like had a lot of really important old shit that people had donated or that they made in there.
Huh.
And so like things like the old servers they had were worth quite a bit of money because you couldn't replace them. Like if they'd asked to get them replaced, it would have cost more money, right? And it was, thousands and thousands of dollars. I believe multiple tens of thousands of dollars of old shit.
Wow.
Yeah, which was just fucking destroyed and could not be replaced. And so they managed to keep a good chunk of that after like getting better, newer shit. And like, yes, a lot of history was destroyed in that, which is, it is sad. But yeah, it fucking worked out for them, didn't it?
And their bank account now definitely worked out for them.
Oh, look, that bank account's more trouble than it's worth in many ways. Because the thing is, as a university club, they incorporated about that so that they could have it in like a proper bank account and stuff, and so they could get interest on it properly. But it's a nightmare constantly, and it's very difficult for them to actually use that money.
Well, with no continuity, that's just an issue in itself. Every year you get a new committee and, new treasurer, new president.
Good to know if we ever run hard on funds, we can just burn the signed copy of, like, Heretics of Dune.
But yeah,
you can't burn it. You have to make sure it looks like an accident.
Someone accidentally burned it.
It took UniSFA more than a year, I think, to, like, get Merlin's card off the Netflix.
It very much did. It took us a very long time.
Yeah, which, it's fine, it happens. But yeah, UCC has to like get their credit cards changed every year, and you need like 2 people there plus a witness or something. It's a whole thing. It's a nightmare that I do not envy. I've been on UCC's committee. It's fucking.
I think
Never
UCC
again.
bought some stuff for us recently. Thank you, UCC.
They did. They bought us the headphones that we're going to use.
That we're going to use.
It's because they're sick of us having to borrow.
No, we bought them. We're paying for them. They just bought them.
Right, yeah, fair enough.
We got a special projects grant. Is that what it's called?
Yeah. We got
SPG.
one for getting the microphones in the first place.
Yeah, so then we followed that up with now getting headphones.
Thank
but
you,
obviously
UWA
because
Guild, for paying for this podcast.
Next
sponsored
year,
by UWA Guild.
Next year,
we try and get a VR set.
Oh, I don't know what.
This room is so unsafe for VR.
I disagree.
Could set,
right? So
yeah,
if you set up a room in the middle, because you set like boundaries that you can only see in the VR, you can have people sitting on the couches at a good distance.
Yeah, I say this room's fine.
The only thing I would be even slightly worried about is the screen, and if you put something because I've seen someone punch the computer that a VR set's running off and like kill it. It was Merlin at camp a couple years ago.
It told this story in the podcast.
Yeah, it did.
Go listen to episode 4, what Players is.
And just punched the computer and like everything shut down. It was horrifying. It was fine. It lived through it. Like the machine and Merlin.
I was going to say Merlin on the computer.
Merlin's dead. Killed Merlin outright.
They came back. They were
yeah,
just
you can put something in front of that so that it's like pretty good.
Yeah, so you feel that there's something there before you get to the screen.
Yeah, I'd like put both of the small chairs facing away.
I say we just
so
get like a really cheap
there.
screen and we put it in front.
Yeah. But yeah, I reckon that's something, because like that was one of the reasons we got such a nice PC, was because like that's something that you can't experience in many places, and UCC can't leave their VR set out because they don't have a fucking ceiling. Which is why they had to bring it out and set it up every time. That's why
we had such a nice PC.
And like they've got to really move a lot of shit around. It was one of the reasons, because it's something that we can offer the membership that you can't get anywhere else.
Yeah,
which is be a psych student and then go do the experiments in first year. That's the only place I've ever done VR.
I actually learned about those. Were you in like a room where there was a bunch of seats set up in like a row, and like
that's a lot of rooms. Dude.
One of my lecturers, like a lot of chairs set up.
Yeah,
is this the skinhead one?
No, one of my lecturers was talking about using VR because we were looking at studies of body image, and he did a big study at about the time we were in first year. Or Lexie, or I don't know, where they did like body image using VR.
I did do that, but I don't remember it involving chairs.
Okay.
You really don't want chairs involved if you're in VR.
Well, it's because you don't need to move around. It's just like so you can sit
to
down.
keep people from moving around.
They had fit like 10 people in doing VR at a time.
Yeah, it's fair.
But he was kind of low key complaining, or he was talking about how like technology is advanced when it comes to like this kind of research, and how like he did this research like 3 years ago or whatever, and he got the university to buy like 15 VR headsets,
and they would have been shit because it was 3 years ago.
Yeah, you can now get like way better ones for like way cheaper. They spent like like $20,000 and it's like out of date immediately.
VR headsets are getting to the point now where I'm like considering purchasing one.
Yeah, me too.
I'm not.
My sister's.
In case
you haven't done
interested.
VR,
my sister's moved to Spain, so I get a room. So I'm like, do I set up a VR in my old room?
I think the moment that like really clicked for me that like VR is a thing that can work, you've just got to
Star
make
Wars
it
Squadrons?
work. No, that was just a neat thing that I always wanted to do. Was when UCC got their first VR headset. So the one they've got now is actually like a lot better. They had an Oculus Rift, the original one.
Oh, they had the original.
Yeah, well, because that's the one they emailed Gabe Newell about, and we're like, can we have an Oculus Rift? And Gabe
No.
Newell's-
They would have emailed Gabe Newell about.
No,
this
you're right.
one.
That was the Vive. Yeah, no. So,
yeah.
I forget how they got the Oculus Rift. They had one.
They probably just bought it.
Maybe
They just found it.
They
on the
have
street.
they have the server money.
Yeah, that's true. But yeah, it was. We were testing that out. And I remember Jono, who's come up a few times. He's not this John, a different John. We were doing like a roller coaster thing.
Oh, that classic demo. Yeah,
the classic roller coaster demo.
I used to watch like Oculus
and
Rift
like
videos.
having to have one of us
came
sit
out.
each side of Jono and put our arms where the railings were so he could grab them.
Oh, that's
And it was
cool.
like, that's fucking cool. That like it's that like immersive and that yeah, I don't know. I found it really. And again, I've done enough VR to be like, this is something I would love to do more of. The issue is that the way that we like have game setups at home, right? The way that we structure our actual living spaces isn't right yet. But a room specifically for VR is like something I want one day.
Me too.
Where it's like, this is a room where I'm able to just do that.
I say I don't want this. I also do have other reasons for not wanting that
Fair
include like dizziness and blurry vision as symptoms of a like chronic thing.
Yeah,
so
no,
I
that's
don't
fair.
think I'd do very well with VR in any length of time.
Yes,
It is improving, but yeah, no, that is a fair setup.
I want to be like, yes, this is my exercise room, and they're like, this is just an empty room with like a headset in it, and I point to the Beat Saber like poster on the wall, and they nod their head.
I got no rhythm, but boy, when I played Pavlov, I was good at it.
Isn't that like a?
It's like when I played it, it was basically just like a Counter-Strike ripoff. But you can rip off anything at the moment in VR. It will be sad when VR gets good enough that companies will sue you for stealing their shit in it. Because right now, it is a free-for-all wasteland. You can just be like, oh no, we straight up put Halo assets in our game.
And Halo doesn't care.
Halo doesn't give a shit.
It's free for all on Valve, because Valve fucking love VR.
Yeah, but like even if you could just put portal guns in your VR game, they are unlikely to give a shit.
True.
Because they also want more people to play VR, so for them it's just worth letting people do that.
And they can sue you later.
Yeah, they can sue you later.
If they change their mind, they can sue you at any time.
Right now is like a beautiful Wild West of a time where VR has so much potential and so many cool things in it, and it will eventually have its golden age where like it's actually funded properly and it's accessible and it's really skyrocketing, and then it will get to be normal and also controlled
and someone will come up with something better.
It will lose some.
Someone will die while in VR for like 36
I'm sure
hours.
it's already happened.
Probably. I'm looking. God, it's gonna be a time when people are in VR for like 4 hours a day, and that's like normal.
You can do it. Like it's
8 hours a day.
When
you do your work in VR.
Yeah, I was going to say,
like
when your
sitting down at a
online
computer.
tutorials for COVID are no longer just Zoom, now it's VR.
I think one of the things with VR
Sucks
is
shit,
that
metaverse.
you've got to if there's not a reason to do it in VR, it's just worse, and it will always be just worse, right? Yeah, metaverse specifically is also bad VR, right? They were complaining about how hard it is to make legs. It's been done.
Yeah,
you can get legs in VR. It's not like a big deal.
I'm enjoying watching the metaverse fail.
Oh, we all are.
Yeah,
it's great for everything that metaverse fails. But yeah, like if you have the option of doing something in not VR, that's usually a better way of doing it, because VR is not done, right? It's not good. But there are things that you can only get in VR. VR, the sheer immersiveness of holding a thing in your hand that you've always wanted to hold but is not real.
Lightsaber.
Yes.
I am holding a lightsaber, and just because I am inside
And
the
you
virtual
hit a little
reality,
button,
and
which
it
is
goes
lined up with
zhing,
where the thumb button is on the VR like controller you're holding,
and it goes,
and you hear a click, and you see your thumb press down, and there's a.
The only thing I can see
then
right
when
now
you
is
move
the
it-
childlike magic in your
Yes.
face, Cam.
It is. I've done a lightsaber sim, like a Star Wars branded one. Like, fucking. Also, something that you never get in any other content, any other form of like media.
Motion sickness.
Size. So,
Oh yeah.
in that Star Wars one, I remember like looking up at the Millennium Falcon full size above me because it's fucking huge, right? And that was a pretty big fucking deal for me. And shit, like, there are a lot of things that, you can't really experience how big shit is.
Yeah, it's
Well,
like go to
especially-
Disneyland or get a headset.
And the Millennium Falcon, if you compare that to, I don't know, the Enterprise,
Oh, yeah.
the Death
The
Star.
Millennium Falcon's not big.
Yeah, I always imagine it being the size of like a car, and I know that is
No.
wildly
Oh.
inaccurate. I know that, but
Yeah, like
when
that-
I imagine it, it's not as big as it is.
Yeah.
I imagine it being the size of like 3 buses.
And, playing a video game, it's like, okay, it's bigger than my character, but your character's height's meaningless because you don't have a real body, and even if it's like
Unless it's
a
that
third-person
one
game.
guy from GoldenEye.
But yeah, there's something incredible about seeing things full size there. I don't know if either of you played the original Half-Life. I don't know if it's Half-Life or Half-Life 2. They're a little,
I've played Half-Life 2, Half-Life 2 Episode 1, most of Half-Life 2
so
Episode
there are little
2,
drones with helicopters that
Oh, yeah, what are they called?
they fly around and they have like a
Man
television
hacks.
screen, and
They're called man
they
hacks.
they flashbang you, right? They've got like a bright flashing light to make you blind.
Yeah.
When you play that on a screen, it's a little dude, and it's small, and it moves around fast, and it's annoying to hit, and it turns off your vision, whatever. Those things are big. They're like the size of a big old CRT TV.
But you imagine them being, 5 centimeters in diameter,
Yeah,
10
because
centimeters in diameter.
they're
kind
very
of thing.
small on a screen. They're fucking huge. They're moving very fast, and they blind you.
Whereas when you're
your
looking at
whole
a
vision
screen-
goes white, and you can't see anymore.
Whereas when you're looking at a screen, like the screen's white, but you can still
Yeah, it's
see
like- it's-
everything else around you.
Yeah, it's an inconvenience. You're like, oh, okay, I've been video game blinded. My character can't see.
But in VR, you've
But in
actually
VR,
been blinded.
you can't see, and it's fucking incredible. It's so cool.
Oh, that is cool.
Yeah,
I've never wanted to be flashbanged so much in my life.
Right?
You've never made being fucking flashbang. I've never heard being fucking flashbang sound so appealing.
Right? Well, because it's being flashbang sucks, and even playing it, you're like, this is awful. It's terrible.
Yeah, it's not
but
great.
it's awful and terrible in a way that is immersive to a story or to a thing you're doing that you can't. Yeah, it's neat. You can't get that anywhere else.
Unless
My experience with this is in,
Or he-
stage lights, where they do, I forgot what it's called, but the flickering on and off, and
Oh, yeah.
you just
I believe it's called being
cannot
haunted.
see.
If it's not me and it's not you, then who's flickering the lights? Cut to a man hack.
Nosferatu. Yeah, I'm sorry, I love gushing about VR. I think it's so close to being practical already as a thing to just have for regular people. It's just inconvenient still. And I think that soon it
TM.
will not be.
And currently, you can't use it for certain things because not enough people have it.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing, is that not enough people have it for it to be something worth supporting at a large scale. And nobody's taking risks with things right now.
Oh, I don't know. I feel like Valve is...
Valve's pushing it. They're doing their best. But even then, Valve knows it'll succeed. And so they're like, this is not a risk to them.
Sure.
And they're also selling the best headsets from my knowledge.
They aren't selling... So, the Vive isn't made by Valve. It's made by HTC. That's why it's called the HTC Vive.
I thought Valve was involved.
They were involved. They're quite involved with it, and they help sell it. But it's not actually developed. I believe Valve is making their own.
Okay.
They're
Because I know that they were involved enough to give us
they
the
were
Vive.
quite involved in it, but they weren't the actual ones manufacturing it. I'm just gonna search up Valve VR. What does it come up with?
But yeah,
The Valve Index is the one they're making.
that's the one, the Index. I think Gauze has one of those. It's pretty good, apparently.
It's Valve. I
And
trust
especially
them.
as they get smaller and they're no longer holding a fucking brick on the front
It's
of
only
your head.
$3,000. Jesus Christ!
Yeah, as the cost comes down,
It's got little fucking. Does it? No, it doesn't. I'm looking at that wrong.
Yeah,
I was like,
it's,
does it have, like,
it's
buttons?
so cool. But yeah, a lot of the games, like, there's no AAA VR games because there's not a AAA audience worth of people who can do that.
What are, like, the biggest VR games?
I think the biggest one is Half-Life Alyx,
Oh, yeah,
which was built as a VR.
Yes, I forgot about it.
To sell VR. It was the first, like, major story-driven game.
I feel
built
like Half-Life
with the intention
Alyx
of being
has got to
in
be,
VR,
like...
which is neat. I haven't played it. Yeah, it's just
My entire
VR.
experience of Half-Life is the screening that ran earlier this year.
Fair enough. I've never played Half-Life. I've played 10 minutes of Half-Life in VR.
Oh, I have played Half-Life. I really love Half-Life. Half-Life is a game where you're like, you hear all this hype about it, and then you go play it, and you're like, huh,
Yeah, it's alright.
that's why it's a good fucking game.
Yeah.
No wonder everyone loved this, because it's good.
The best kind of game where not when you get there and go, why was there so much hype about this? This is awful.
Yeah.
It has
It's just
aged a lot.
It has aged, but I think it still kind of
Yeah.
holds up.
I think first-person shooters as a genre, like, they age pretty bad.
Yeah.
Like, Portal has aged great because nothing else does that.
I didn't finish Half-Life 2 Episode 2, so I didn't get through all of it.
Wow,
but it's
fake
kind
gamer
of...
girl.
It made me really realize, I'm like, oh, I like linear games, because I played, like, open world games were so big around that time, and they still are. Like, so many games are just open world. And then I played this, I'm like, oh, it's linear. Oh, it's way more fun.
Linear games can have better, like, designed levels and
Exactly.
designed interactions because they know where you're going to be coming at
The
them
thing
from.
about Half-Life is it's just the story, pretty nice, but it's just really well designed. There's well designed levels and well designed puzzles. The music's good. It's just
there are
it's
things
just a good game design. They were like, what if we just got an FPS, a single player linear FPS, and we just made it fucking good. It's not nothing special, it's just good.
Yeah.
That's solid. Like, you get the same thing with kind of every piece of media where now everyone's trying to either do something new that's never been done before or redo something that someone's already done. It's like, you don't have to. You can do something that's been done before as long as you do it well.
There's not that many people out... Well, people are out there trying to do new things, but it's very hard to get funding for them right now.
Talking about new things, you said you were playing the Outer Wilds? I feel like that's new.
Yeah.
I feel like
that is doing something that has not been done. I'm having a lot of fun with it.
I saw an article the other day, which was a very good read. It was called, like, The Outer Wilds has changed my view on death. It was very good. I recommend it. Don't read it. It's major spoilers.
Yeah, I've been avoiding all spoilers. I've had a good time with that so far as well, yeah. This is the first thing I've played in a very long time that I've had absolutely no spoilers going into, because it's very hard to avoid spoilers for things.
This is the perfect game to avoid spoilers
for. No, I can tell.
This is like every Marvel movie. Where you're like, in order to avoid spoilers, I must see this the first day that it comes out.
Yeah.
I watched most of the new I think I watched most of the new Star Wars trilogy, like, the day it came out. I know at least...
I think I watched the first...
Force Awakens and Last Jedi. I watched the day it came out with a couple of my buddies.
I watched Rogue One at the midnight screening, and that was great. Really liked Rogue One.
Rogue One feels like the Star Wars movie that everyone's like, out of all the new ones, this is the good one. This is the really good one, and then all the others people
Rogue
don't
One
like
nailed
as much.
working with the existing setting rather than over the top of it.
Yeah, it felt like it was inside the universe
Yeah.
rather
I have
than
such
someone just
mixed
decided to do
thoughts
something new.
about
Rogue One-
the new Star Wars trilogy.
Like I've had a long discussion on, like, the perfect machete ordering for Star Wars, right? Where you're trying to, like, make it like what's the best watch order for this weird, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3 ordered movies.
Yeah.
And, like, there's some things to be said about putting the prequels first because they came first, or, like, showing 4 first and then 1, so you can be like, here's how things are. How did they get there? How did it get from this to this? And a lot of Star Wars spoils itself. I know that, like, the prequels don't... The prequels pretend that you don't know the plot, but also you know the plot. You know who the Emperor is.
I watched the prequels first, which I was told not to do, but I did watch them for the first time in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
I probably did
fine.
too, but I was like a kid, so I didn't even.
But
I already knew that Darth Vader was Luke's father
Yeah,
because
I think
everyone knows that.
I think it took me
exactly.
a long time to find out that the prequels were in fact prequels. I just thought it was just released in that order for like quite a while.
No,
like,
I knew because
well, 'cause it's
my parents were like, no, you must watch 4, 5, 6 first, and I didn't. I watched 1, 2, 3
Yeah, that's
first, and they
fine.
were like, this is blasphemous.
But yeah, where I got into a big, like, well, not a big argument, but where we hit, like, the most of, like, a sticking point with the guy I was discussing it with, I think that Rogue One before Episode 4 is actually the best way
Cam,
to do it.
did you see that tweet which was like, if you put a bunch of Star Wars fans in a room and ask if they like like Star Wars, they'll
They'll
kill
all
each
say
other?
Yeah, no, for sure.
I only like this one movie. Well, I only like this one other movie.
I think my like a big discussion with one of my like oldest high school friends ended after like we were discussing like I liked 7 more
Is this
than
how
8.
your friendship ended?
You like 7
quite.
more than 8?
I
Oh,
liked 7
fuck
more than
off.
8. And it like came to the point it was like the reason that he liked 8 more than 7 was because he didn't really like Star Wars, and I'm like, oh, yeah, I guess that'll do it.
I honestly don't remember what happens in any of the movies.
That's totally fair.
Except 1 and 3, because I feel like
Did you watch the new trilogy?
I did, but they weren't that great, so
you
I've
weren't.
only seen them once.
Totally fair.
Whereas the others, I think I've seen all of the others at least twice. Some of them,
Yeah.
more than that.
I've watched the new trilogy only once, but I can still remember what happens in 8 pretty much. 7
I think I do. I remember someone watching 8 while I was on a plane, and there's a lot of light dark on the screen, and I remember it being like night on the plane, and I didn't like wearing eye patches, and they were watching it,
Oh,
and
that
every
makes it rough to try and sleep,
time
yeah.
their screen went from like black to white very quickly, being like, what was that?
My experience with the new Star Wars trilogy was the first one, people being like, oh man, that sucked, it was just rip-off, and I go into it, I watched it, and I'm like, yeah, it was kind of the same plot, but I enjoyed it, it was fine, It was a fine movie. Then I go into 8, and I'm like, everyone was also saying it sucked, and so I go into the same expectations. I'm like, oh, I've really fucking enjoyed that movie. I love Star Wars Episode 8.
Yeah,
there are
I
some,
like 8.
There are some bits which are like completely, like the entire like casino planet or whatever.
Yeah.
You don't
That was
need that.
weird.
That's completely unnecessary. There's the whole layer thing, completely unnecessary. There's so many flaws in it, but I fucking just love that movie. And then Episode 9, people are like, oh, it sucks, and I'm like, okay, I've heard this whole one before.
And then it was actually
And then I go
that
in there, I'm like,
bad.
this movie fucking sucked. I hate this movie.
So I haven't seen 9.
Oh, you haven't?
It's
not good.
It's not great.
I have
It's
never
not
even.
great.
I have not at any. I was like, I'm not. After 8, I was like, I don't think I'm excited for 9.
No, yeah.
And that was
It's not
sad for
worth
me.
your excitement.
And then 9 came out, and everyone was like, "This sucks." And I'm like, "Yeah, I can believe."
This is
that.
what happens when you're like different director, same director.
Yeah, it's almost like if you're going to make the continuation of something that's old that people really fucking like, you should try and make it good rather than be impressive. It's like shit. Having your directors planned out and your plot planned out for a trilogy should be the bare minimum level
when you're making it with a company like Disney, like you have no excuses.
It's like, okay, you know this is going to succeed wildly. It's fucking
Star Wars,
right? And were they okay, it would have been better for Star Wars and they would have made more money, but they were like actively fucking about with it in such a weird way. But so to me, right, 7 was fine. It was a setup movie. 7 set up a handful of plots that could be...
Well, that's what 1 and 4 are as
yeah,
well.
right? Well, 4 was not really a setup movie because they didn't know it was a
Yeah.
first movie at the time.
It's
But
kind of in the same
yeah,
way.
right? It was 7 was very similar to 4 because it was like, okay, how do we make a Star Wars setup movie?
Yeah.
4 was that.
Well, and 7 is also not a setup movie in the same way that 4 is not a setup movie of that there is a big goal that they accomplish at the end of blowing something up.
7 set several things up. So 7 sets up, you've got Snoke, who's fucking gigantic, and like implied to be terrifying on some scale. You've got the whole like, how did things get to this point, right? For me at least, I watched 7, and one of the big questions I came out with was like, how did it get there? That
Yeah,
sounds
how did
like
we
an
get
interesting
from
story,
everything was
right?
going great and now it's not anymore?
That's a good point.
Really absolutely
I feel
fucked,
like
right?
that's still explorable, right?
I don't want them to anymore. I just want them to fucking leave it alone. But
I feel
you've
like
got-
if you just ignore the most
Yeah.
of the characters that were in 7, you can make it interesting.
I like some of the characters as well. Like Kylo Ren at that point was fine, right?
Yeah, he got worse over time.
I liked Finn.
I liked him in 8.
Rey. I really
Yeah,
liked
so did I.
like Poe. I think they had chemistry and they could have gone places with story with them. The Knights of Ren was set up cool. neat
And then
name,
they just kind of
name drop. Yeah,
disappeared a bit.
there was,
God, Captain Phasma was a really overhyped character, wasn't she? Snoke.
Set up as an arc villain,
Like Snail
right?
Coke.
You've got Snoke as this gigantic hologram that is clearly terrifying and like out
and looks creepy and
important
everything.
enough to fund this whole thing. He's clearly, he's your next emperor or whatever, right? So this is the kind of guy who you expect to be your big bad for your series, like for your trilogy, right? That's what he's set up as.
And it's I feel like, in my opinion, it's okay to get rid of that as long as your next villain makes sense.
As you talk, I can feel genuine emotions rising up in me.
I have so episode 8, right? Snoke gets fucking chumped. He's just a guy in a bathrobe and he sucks. And he gets
he gets killed so easily.
He gets trick killed by he dies like an idiot chump and does nothing.
It was a cool scene, at least.
The scene that followed it was cool. Okay,
I can't remember the scene where Kylo and Rey are fighting.
Yeah, it was alright.
That was like cool.
The choreography was okay. Star Wars has and can do better. But
so fucking
8.
Oh, there was so much cool shit.
So the thing with 8 was visually stunning, right?
Yes, true.
I really liked the way they treated the Force as well, because my favorite thing about the Force is, now they haven't always done this, I like the idea that they don't have to explain anything about it. Because if you just say the Force exists and never explain anything, you can now do whatever you want. Obviously they introduced, I forgot what they were called, not mitochondria.
Yeah,
those are stupid. Just pretend those didn't exist.
That shot in 8 where he hyperdrives to the other ship,
right?
And it goes all silent. It's like black and white.
Right, I watched that live and it was like that.
I watched that live too, but someone shouted out in the cinema during it and it kind of killed it.
I'm so sorry. But so the biggest problem I have with 8 was that it took things about Star Wars that were like your gotchas, right? Why don't they turn off the lightsaber and turn it back on? Why don't they just hyperspace jump into stuff? And they were like, haha, we'll do that.
It's
with
like, no, you can't.
Thought. Yeah, right?
That's not allowed.
It's always more interesting to ask, why does this make sense, than go, that doesn't make sense. Right? So, and then you've got two groups of people, because you're really forced into two states after that. It was the, why haven't they done that before? Or the, they can't, like, that's bullshit, everything doesn't make sense anymore, right? So I love to take things like that and go, all right, how do I justify this? How do I make this fit with the setting you've got, right? And it's like, okay, so the hyperspace suicide jump has to either have not been possible before, or have been so fucked up that that nobody did it even against a Death Star, right? Because those are the only two options there.
Yeah, now that you've done it, you've got to come up with a reason why has no one done it before.
You have to discuss it properly, and I believe in 9 the answer is that it's very unlikely that it would have worked. And that's very stupid. The idea that like a hyperspace RAM like that would fuck up hyperspace. You've now got hyperspace debris fucking around through the galaxy, doing untold that you can't jump anywhere near there anymore.
That's cool.
Unrelated places can get hit by that debris. Like, that's a fucked up thing to do. You've got the and like this is not a thing that a person does if it's not okay. Also, really hated the plot to 8. As in terms of like as a storytelling plot, it's you've been trapped, you are on a rope, walking away slowly.
It's a chase scene.
It's a chase scene.
The plot is the chase plot.
Chase. It was like, okay, you're trapped.
It's a chase.
We're gonna have a side bit where the characters go out and go to an unrelated casino
that
planet
sucked.
to do a thing, and it sucks. And the payoff for it was nothing. That whole side arc in a weird place that nobody cared about, that was taking away from the actual plot, they get back and the dude betrays them, and it was all meaningless.
I pretend the side plot doesn't happen. It makes me happier.
Poe Dameron is like...
I love Poe Dameron.
I like Poe Dameron, and it was like, Poe, you can't do a mutiny. It's like, I don't know, man. You've explicitly told me that the plan is to keep running away until we run out of fuel.
Which is a terrible plan.
I watched a pretty good video essay on how the characters like do some good growth and like...
Yeah, but it's like, okay, so the plan, as far as he's been told, is we're going to fucking keep walking in a straight line away from this thing until we run out of fuel. And they're like, it's all right. We have a plan. We are doing something. And then he discovers that they're fueling the shuttles to keep doing that. Right? The plan is to continue doing... They were just like, yeah, there's a planet there. We're going to get to that planet and hold it there, right? Okay, that's a plan.
This forever is not a plan.
But yeah, this is not a plan. This is literally just taking a long time. Like, we have to either do something or not do it. also, okay, the movie seems in some ways also weirdly backwards, right? They start with a fleet fighting the big ship. And so you get that scene.
That was a really sick scene.
Really cool in some ways. Really like the bombers bother me.
They were very overpowered in the X-Wing miniatures game.
I bet. But
they had an ability which you could shoot bombs out of, or usually in that game you could place a bomb just behind you.
Yeah.
But they had an upgrade which let them place a bomb ahead of them, but 5 ahead, and 5 is like the longest length in the game. So you could like propel a bomb. It's pretty cool.
Having your bombers be like I get that Star Wars aesthetically is like World War II in space, right? So you've got your World War II heavy bombers full of bombs. But boy, having it so that your bombers, if one of them explodes, all of them explode, and that all of the bombs are live all the time, so that if anything hits any of them, all of your bombers explode.
Kind of sucks.
It's hard for me to be like, all right, that's I can make that make sense, because really it's like that you can't make that make sense. That's just not very good. But yeah, so okay, that's the first big scene is they fight this dreadnought, right? And it's like a big climactic moment. All right, cool. That's a start. Right. Where do we go from here? Second fucking dreadnought. That's cool. So I'm pretty sure a character even says, "Damn, so what we just did was worthless." Like, or something. It's like, yeah, you're right. All right, we killed the dreadnought, another dreadnought. Interesting as a thing to do if the dreadnought's been set up, but instead it's like, okay, the scale's all fucked. We still haven't had any discussion of how the First Order got this level of shit going on, right? They're, at this point, clearly at least bigger than the Empire.
Oh, you're gonna hate Episode 9
much. I know. The First Order is clearly huge. They've got, dreadnoughts fucking around. They can just lose them. It doesn't matter. They've got another one on the way. This dreadnought is just gonna grab you and hold on for the whole movie.
You definitely remember this movie far better than I do.
Yeah, me too.
Because this was honestly like a big deal for me. I really liked Star Wars, and that actually hurt that quite a bit. I like Star Wars a lot less because of this movie, and that sucks.
I think the thing with the directors, I feel like it's like 7 did something, and it's like, okay, and then the guy who did 8 was like, nah, fuck your thing, I'm gonna do my own thing. And then when he did 9, he's like, fuck that thing, I'm doing this other thing.
Correct, and it's so mind-meltingly upsetting to me.
It is. Like,
I remember
8 had so much cool stuff in it for me. I'm like, oh my god, there's like a bit of grey. There's like, is Rey gonna join Kylo? It's like, neither of them are fully good or fully evil. They've got the weird fucking link going on.
The flaws of the
like,
Jedi, the dyad thing.
And like, oh, they're all alone. And then all of it's thrown out the fucking window.
I liked in 9, I liked the aesthetics of one of the scenes, and I really liked at the end, slight spoilers, but not for the actual story, how, they put out a distress call, and then people from all over the galaxy...
Oh, yeah, that was 8, yeah.
Yeah,
oh, is that?
Cool.
Is that?
Yeah, it's 8.
No, that's 9.
No, that's 9. It's
9.
It's the very last
You're
scene.
thinking of 9.
It's the very last scene.
It's not. There's no distress call. No one comes to help them in 8.
No, so they send out a distress call, and people from like all over all the galaxies show up. And I'm like, this is what Star Wars is meant to mean.
The last scene of 8, but it works.
What happens to the last scene?
Because they're in the bunker.
Last scene of 8 is
they're in the
bunker and then they fucking leave.
They get the distress signal out saying like we need help, and then they leave.
No, in this everyone shows up.
They send a distress signal and they're like,
all right.
So, and then like a bunch of ships show up.
Thousands of ships from like all over the galaxy, just average people show up. I'm like, this is what Star Wars is meant to be about. People coming to
everything else. The Kylo and Rey scene at like the fucking end.
Okay.
Except for the aesthetics. I like the aesthetics of the cave. I'm like, this looks cool. It doesn't make any sense, but it looks really cool.
Yeah, no, 8 has some of my favorite like visually scenes from Star Wars.
No, it's not as good as 8,
Salt
but it
Planet
is good.
Was beautiful.
Oh yes,
it's not as good as that, but it is. It just looks cool.
Like that whole planet of like it's got like a surface of white, and then below that is red. That's
and the little,
so
and the little
good.
foxy guys. I love them.
Yeah.
And the pork.
Fire all like the weapons on this one, man. Good scene.
I love that.
I love that.
Okay,
the shoulder brush.
The hardest thing about 8 was that 7 came out and it was fine, whatever. It was not a movie I had too many problems with. It had some fucking flaws. Don't get me wrong.
All of them did.
The main protagonist was a woman. That's not allowed.
Oh fuck!
No,
people got so upset about Rey, and she was the most reasonable fucking protagonist.
It was so stupid.
It
did have flaws, but that's not one of them.
No, it's not. Starkiller Base was dumb and wasn't set up very well, and they just killed 7 planets of people, and it was not a big deal.
That happened.
Alderaan getting blown up has a person from Alderaan live, breakdown watching it. It's like, okay, that's impactful
That makes
somewhat,
sense,
right?
yeah.
It's not as impactful as knowing a whole planet of people got killed, because that's impossible to conceptualize, but, 7's just it's
I don't know.
just more...
I feel like you can conceptualize it by saying, a billion...
No, that's... But,
souls cry out, and they're suddenly silent.
Like that, that didn't have the impact of watching Leia see it,
Yeah,
right?
no, you're right.
And that, Starkiller Base kills 7 planets. You can see the beam split and hit all those planets.
But that's kind
Star
of it.
Wars' ability to handle light speed has always been weird, but that was egregious. Not important. That's, sci-fi thing.
I'm glad you've wiped. I'm glad you've wiped the oxygen in space from your. I'm glad you've wiped the Leia scene from your brain, like everyone else.
Star Wars has air in space.
Yeah, true.
I've just always believed this. It's
not much air, but they have air in space.
enough that you can hear things and that you can bank off it, and that's
things can explode.
Oh, things can explode in space. They've got their
And
own
you can
air.
also survive in space.
Yeah. There's a worm in an asteroid, and that means that there's oxygen in that asteroid. So that either implies something very weird's going on, or that there's air in space.
But the air is only breathable to that worm and
Maybe
people with the Force.
Yeah.
No one else can breathe. Only
it's-
that worm and people with the
Yeah,
Force.
What would you
that-
bring
that's-
if you're
it's
alone on a
fine to
desert
me.
asteroid?
There's air in space, and that just works, right? I can hand wave that. Oh god, I was going somewhere with this. Oh yeah, so Rogue One happened. Was the next Star Wars movie released after that?
Yeah.
Rogue One was great. It was a story self-contained. None of the characters would get more shit after this because they all fucking die. It's Rogue One. It makes Episode 4 more fun to watch because you're like, damn, Leia has some fucking cojones, and Darth Vader is actually scary, right? And its message is a rebellion is built on sacrifice, right?
Yeah,
Rebellion
and
is
built on
hope,
all the little
hope
people.
and sacrifice, and little people doing things at cost to themselves because it's the right thing to do. And then 8 comes along and it's like, nah, you can't make a rebellion by sacrificing people. That's fucked up. That would be fucked up if you did that. And
But also, you don't have enough people to have anyone to sacrifice because
And-
now there's a teeny tiny little.
well, yeah,
group.
there's that scene where fucking Finn is, trying to crash into the beam to save
And someone
literally
stops
the
him?
whole rebellion, and he is tackled out of the way. And I know people that have thought that was a
Who's he
joke.
tackled by?
Rose.
Rose.
Rose
yeah.
was a character that deserved
Oh, we
better.
cannot go. Oh.
People were so awful
Oh
to that
my
actress, and they.
I think we do need to wrap up.
I'm finishing up now.
Okay. This can be your final
so-
thought. I won't have to ask you about it.
I know people thought that scene was a joke because it was that fucking stupid, but it was played as a reasonable response of you can't do this, you can't sacrifice yourself. That's not a way to build a rebellion or to fight the power. And literally everyone else has just been killed by a giant beam in the background.
And it would be such an ending for Finn's
I think
character that
I-
he's come from being a
Yeah, I think
meaningless death, and now he's like, no, I'm going to do
die
something.
meaningfully
Yeah.
at least, yeah. Which is again, I think Finn deserved a better arc for 3
yeah, I
movies.
agree.
But yeah, it would be better than what he fucking got, which sucks.
I'm just for Finn himself, maybe
Yeah.
not as an audience member, but for him to have come from being just a meaningless clone with a number to
Yeah.
being no, I'm going to sacrifice myself for this thing that I believe in and
Yeah.
for these people.
And especially
him.
because his whole arc was being I'm not a coward, I'm not running away from this. It would not have been good. It would have had its own problems to it, but it would have been better, and that's sucks as a position for them to have put themselves in.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Lexie, we got to wrap up this podcast. Do you have any final thoughts? You have to give final thoughts, actually.
Yeah, I'm going to tell you my superpower from ages ago.
Yeah, what's your
You
super?
asked me what my
Didn't you just say?
superpower was.
Didn't you say
No,
shape
I did,
shifting?
but I have to follow up on that because it means you get you want to be able to fly, you can now, and you want to be able to go super fast, you can now.
This is just Ben 10.
Yeah, but as in you can shapeshift into anything, so whether it exists or not, you can be a dragon, but you can also just be a person with a different hair color.
That's
so
pretty
instead
sick.
of dyeing your hair and putting
You
lots
can't
of
be
effort
that in
into
real
it,
life.
you can just do it.
My left arm is a
final
cold fusion
thoughts
reactor.
is a quote from a interview I saw. I didn't read the interview, but I saw this quote and the title, which was the guy who's playing Andor in Andor, which is the prequel
Oh yeah,
to
because they
Rogue
did
One.
make a Rogue One spin-off.
They
Because
made
it
a
was
Rogue
good.
One spin-off. He was asked about what it's like playing a character in a prequel where the character dies at the end, and what's that like acting for and the story and whatnot. And the quote was just, "We're all living in a prequel.
Yeah,
We all die in the end."
yeah. No, it's true. My final thought for the episode is that Carrie Fisher was dead in real life, and playing with that to make people feel emotions and then not even following through on that emotional payoff and having her live through that movie, that felt fucking awful. And one of the main reasons I didn't watch 9 was because I didn't want to go through it again.
How could Riverdale do it better?
Yeah.